Hello everyone. So this will be a kind of special video to me because I have recently crossed over 6 months at Lambda School. I am now nearing the end of the full stack dev section. The only part I have left is 2 weeks of testing followed by another build week. But ultimately I'm about done with that. That'll just leave me computer science and job prep. So I want to make a special video kind of showing my progress as a developer over my time here at Lambda. So I would like to show you 3 different projects. All 3 of these are mine. None of these was like a project for the school. I've always tried to work on side projects outside of class, and 2 of those are just that, while one of these is actually the semester before I started at Lambda. I was at college for computer science and had a web design class, and I have a project from that I'd like to show because it is by far probably the worst thing I've ever done. So let's get started. Alright, so as you can see here, we have just an amazing website. The idea behind this is kind of a Wikipedia for science and scientists because I love science. We really just had free reign on this assignment for college. The professor really didn't care too much about the topic or the design or the layout. We had certain things we had to use, like certain tags. We had to use ordered lists and unordered lists, tables, those types of things in the code, which I will do a separate video going into the code on all 3 of these projects. So that will be for another time. As we can see, this is just ugly to look at, very small. There's no reason this shouldn't be up here where I wouldn't have to scroll to, for stuff I don't care about. But overall, yeah, I don't like looking at this. But we can see here we got different pages where I have images, short little, kind of bio. These are all links. This was basically because I had to include a table. I didn't super want to include one there, but I threw it in for that point. And then here we have the full profile page. Down here at the bottom, we have images that are just all over the place from their works. We have a next button here. I was pretty proud of that at the time, but that is neither complicated nor, once again, this is just ugly. Over here we have Darwin, and then we can go to like chemistry, and I tried to pick like really old, ancient times, like start of the field type stuff, and then like somebody kind of notable from more modern but not like today, and then like current research. Obviously on all 3 is what they're doing in the field whenever I was making this. So physics, and then further reading, and this is just a list of different places that I pulled information from when looking up information about these people. So these are all links, and we got some banners there, and then another way too far down footer. But that will basically conclude this monstrosity. Let's move on to my next project. Okay, so we can see that this one's easier to look at, but definitely not a good design. So there's improvement there. Another thing is I've moved away from vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript into using React for my front end. This was actually one of the very first, if not the first, actual React project that I did on my own. But it's just the OpenDB API. I hooked up to it, and as you can see there, we can enter terms down here, and it'll find us movies based on that. From there, I've got buttons that I never really finished. That was a big thing for this project, is that I just kind of stopped working on it at one point. Before we click here, we can go to the moviedb.org and see the actual page they have with all the fun information. It does well on the load. It's real quick, auto updates, basic React, but this really does almost nothing because I'm pretty sure, yeah, all these links take you to the same place, but they were supposed to eventually do different things. But the real improvement on this one is that I decided to be safer rather than have an ugly design. And then the coding aspect, when we get into that video, there'll be a lot more time spent on this one. than there is in this video. So one more, and then we will conclude. Alright, and finally we have a remake of the last app that we looked at. This is also built in React, but this time I've also included Redux. Same concept, it's a movie app, but it has a lot more features, so I will be able to talk about this one a lot more than that last one. So we have a simple login page here, but what I'm actually going to start at is we're going to go over to register. This is actually a project that's a work in progress. I'm going to use this for the Pioneer competition that I am in currently, but I will make a different video talking about all of that. So just remember, this isn't the finished product, but I felt that I'd done enough already that it will show the difference in my skill level. But we can just sign up here with our full name, some kind of username, some user, we'll do a password, we'll do an age, and a phone number. And then I don't think this reroutes yet, so I will pull my console because I think that will probably be our best place for confirmation that this worked. Okay, so we register, and then here we go. We get our status 101 back with the ID of the user. And from there, if we go back to where we were at the login, we can do some user and password. If we hit login, this will generate a Json Web Token, so it knows that we're logged in and authenticated. From there, we can go to our profile, where it will welcome us with our username, and you can see we'll have a favorites list and some kind of schedule, but we don't have any results yet because we're a new user. So to solve that, we'll go over here to search, and we'll just perform a quick search for some movies. Let's see here, we got all these cards popping up. Let's take a closer look at this. We get some of the details about the movie here. We go down here and schedule a showing if we'd like to schedule a showing. We run back real quick. If we click the card here, and after hitting the add button, we can go to our profile page, and you can see that it was added here, and our red add button has switched to a gray remove button. So we can do that just to get rid of that and default back to the no results found. If we go back and keep looking, we'll just add a couple of these as we go down so our page isn't empty. But then we can actually click on one. Like I said, we can see all the details if we want. We can come down here, and we have a time picker. Let's say 9 o'clock. Seconds don't super really matter. And then we'll pick a date. We'll say next Friday. And we'll schedule that. And if we go back to our profile again, we'll see all three of the, just three, three of the movies we added to our favorites list with the card tiles. And then down here, we have our scheduled Avengers movie to be viewed on Friday, April 19th, 2019 at 2100 hours or 9 p.m. The fun thing about this is I've included the Knex service, so when that time comes, you'll actually receive a text message from your phone number. That's why the phone number was required for registration. We can remove our schedule, just like we can remove our movies. And then from there, we can even log out if we wish, which will then reroute this, or well, re-render this, I should say. It's not rerouting, we're re-rendering, because this is actually a protected route or component, so it requires authorization for it to actually render the profile view. Search is open. Anyone can come to the app and search, even if you are not logged in. So that's no problem at all. You may have noticed this browse feature up here. I actually haven't got to building this out yet, but it does serve a purpose as to display. I do have to be logged in for that, so we'll just re-log in real quick. But as I was saying, it'll give me a chance to show you that I do have a loading screen. This works on all the actual pages, not the components within the page, so that way, you know, if you just go to that page and you're not logged in or there's some kind of loading issue, it'll take care of that before trying to render anything at all. But to further prove that point, I'm going to go over here on my second monitor. I'm just going to turn the server off real quick. If we try to go to our profile page, you can see that we have our loading. But that about sums up what I have so far on this project. It's still growing. Like I said, it's what I'm really proud of. I've went from that really ugly, static HTML, CSS web page. I actually don't think that has any JavaScript in it. I think I said JavaScript earlier, but I'm pretty sure that's just HTML, CSS. But all the way up to this, which is a app built with React and Redux on the front end. I use Axios for all my API calls. And then I've built my own backend up using Node and Express. I have an SQLite database that I'm using with it. And then, like I said, the Nexmo service handles the texting. So that way, all I have to do is pass it the phone number to receive the message with the text information itself within an object. So thank you all for watching this. I don't really know what else to say. Thank you everyone for helping me get this far, because I do believe that there's been lots of improvement between that first project I showed you and then this one here. So like I said, just thank you all so much for that, and I look forward to continue showing you all my progress as I keep growing and learning. There will be a video going over these 3 projects again, but this time it'll be from the behind the scenes code view, and I'll talk about what I did better and worse on like my code writing, my commenting, and my architecture and all those things. So if you have any questions, as always, leave those down below, and I will see you all in the next video.